show, cut the show, cut the show. All right, I'm done, bro. Yo, I'm so excited. One thing you will learn about me is that I scream when I'm excited. And I have two screams. I have, that's my inside scream. And then I have an outdoor scream, which obviously I can't. And it's not really like a scream, it's just like so much energy gets built up that I gotta let it out. And that's the only way, like, I can feel like, I don't know how to explain it. But I'm excited because it is episode 3, which means we're on week 6. No, I think it's week 7 because I skipped the holiday weekend of the 4th. This has been in effect for 7 weeks and we're continuing to progress. So yes, I'm excited. But let's get into the topic. The art of moving out. If you didn't know, I have moved out of my parents' house. Also, if you didn't know, I used to live in Columbus, Georgia. I lived there for entirely too long. I'm so glad to be out of it. You know how people just claim their city so bad? They, oh, I love my city right down from my city. Yeah, I'm not that person. I love the people and all the memories I made, but Columbus, Georgia, I will be okay if I never step foot in that city ever again. And my parents are about to move, so it's like, I don't really have much of a need. I still have some friends and some people there that, you know, but other than that, Columbus don't ever gotta see me ever again. But I moved to, drumroll please, Louisiana! Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I know the question is, why are you in Louisiana? What made you move there? I'm about to get into it. Like always, there's a backstory to everything, so I'm gonna take you through that. So I was planning to go back to school. I was planning to get my master's in athletic training, and I was just like, you know, we could apply to LSU because my sister goes here, she plays softball. I could move there, I could see my sister play, which is like a big thing for me. And plus, I didn't really have any preference of where I wanted to go. But I did know getting out of my parents' house wasn't enough. Getting out of the city of Columbus wasn't enough. I had to leave the whole state. So fall 2024, I'm like, I gotta move. Like, I just wanted to move out so bad because it's like, I've been here for over a year after I graduated. Like, that was already too much for me. So I'm like, I think I'm gonna move, and I'm telling my parents, and my dad's like, why would you do that? Like, doesn't make sense. And my parents were supposed to move that fall. So I was like, y'all gonna move out of the city, and then I'm gonna have to and then my dad's like, why are you stressing about that? We don't even know if we're moving. So they did not end up moving, and neither did I. Because it just financially, it wasn't smart, so it was just like, stay with them. But next year, you're getting out of their house, okay? I was like, by next summer, I want to move before next summer. So I'm coming up with a plan, Fast forward, I think it's like January 2025, and we went out for my aunt's birthday, and somehow me moving out came up. And so we started talking about it, and they were asking me like where I was planning on moving. And I was like, oh, I found this apartment. It's My parents were like, let me see. My mom sees it. She's like, oh yeah, this is nice. This looks like you. My dad sees it. He looked at me. He was like, why would you pay $1,600 for an apartment? And I'm like, because I like it. It's nice. And he was like, yeah, but you could get a house and pay $2,000 on a mortgage. At least you would make some of it back. And I was like, and at this time, I don't know anything about mortgage, down payments. I don't know how none of that process works. So he's, you know, breaking it down. He put me on game about like how all that stuff works. And now I'm intrigued. I'm like, okay. So I started looking at houses, and I was like, oh yeah, I could get a house with a pool. Like, and then my family looks at me crazy, and they're like, and I'm like, what? My dad was like, I don't even have a pool. I was like, what do you not having a pool have to do with me? Like, but y'all, I'm just super excited. I'm like, oh, I get to have my own house. Like, this is nice. My dad was like, I'll help you out. I'll pay the down payment. You just have to have 3 other roommates. And I was like, huh? I said, what? He said, yeah. You, your sister, and 2 other roommates. I said, I don't even want my sister. Why would I want 2 other people that I don't know? I said, how about we do this? How about it just be me? And he was like, if you want my help, you're gonna have 3 other roommates. And I'm like, no. So the whole moving to the house thing, I was like, yeah, that's not happening because I'm not having 3 roommates. I want to move out and live on my own, okay? It's always been a goal, like, y'all know me, I'm a planner, and it's always been in my plan to live on my own before I start a family. This is that time, like this is the perfect time for me to live on my own. So I'm like I can't, like I don't want roommates. I don't, no. Like I'm not moving out of a house with 4 people to move into another house with 4 people. I don't want to do that, no. So I'm like, you know what, I just pay my own. Then I started like really looking into it and breaking down the numbers, and I was like, oh, Don't know what compelled me to think that I would be able to pay my own down payment, especially, and mortgage and everything else that comes with it. Yeah, I was out of my mind. So now I'm back to looking at apartments, and at this point I'm like a little upset because I got used to the idea of living in the house, and then I was like, you know what, whatever. Then I came up with this perfect plan, y'all. Picture perfect plan. Ooh, is that a picture perfect plan? No, picture perfect plan. No, it's not one. Okay. I came up with this picture perfect plan of how it could just be me, my sister, and my dad make the down payment. And the mortgage will get paid for. Pops, you ain't gotta worry about it, it's gonna get paid. And so I was like, yes, it's perfect. I take him the idea. And so now we're back in business with the house. And no, I'm not living alone, but it's just one person, and the mortgage, oh my gosh, y'all, the mortgage being paid for was the cherry on top. So now I'm starting to look at houses, and I like saved 100 of them, and I take it to my mom. I was like, okay, I got a list. She was like, how many? And I was like, 100. She was like, get it down to 50. And I was like, oh, okay. So I get it down to 70, and I go back to her, and I was like, okay, I got it down to 70. She was like, no, get it down to 50. Like, I'm not gonna look at all those houses. And I'm like, ugh. So I go back, and I'm working on it. She come back some days later, and she's like, did you get it down? I said, it's back at 100. She's like, little girl. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Fast forward. Eventually, I get it down to like 20. And now I'm very, very particular about my stuff. Like my stuff in general, I'm very anal in a sense. And I was like, Mom, no, the walls have to be like this. The house has to be set up like this so I can And she was like, girl, you don't pick no house for the walls. And in my head, I'm like, girl, maybe you don't pick no house, but I need it like this. And I just had to relax, okay? So I get the houses, I get it down to 20. We send it to a realtor. She gets it down to about like 15 because I think some of the houses were in bad areas. So now we're at 15 houses. Me and my mom come to Louisiana. We tour all the houses. This house actually wasn't even on the list, but the house across the street was. So we toured that house first. And then the realtor and the listing agent, they brought us over here because this was another one that was ready to be sold. And we came in here and I was like, okay. So now we're visiting every house like twice. Like the main houses, we visit them twice just to see. And then my mom was like, we need to make a decision like today. We were trying to expedite the process so that I could be here for a year and get in-state tuition. So we're trying to hurry up. My mom's like, we really do need to make a decision today. And I'm like, okay, this one. And I'm not a decisive person at all, y'all. I'm probably the most indecisive person you ever meet when it comes to like, well, big and small decisions, really. So I made a decision on this house, and my pops was like, all right, cool, let's go with it. So we went with it, and here I am, yay. But since we were trying to expedite everything happened like this. So I mean, like, I'm filling out paperwork, I'm coming back and forth from Louisiana, I'm packing, I'm still working. I'm not really coaching at the time. Yeah, I wasn't really coaching at the time, but I'm doing all these things and it's like, oh my God, like everything's happening too fast, too much. But actually, I also did love the process too. Now the paperwork and, you know, emailing this person and calling this person and talking, I didn't like all that. But I mean, it comes with it, part of growing and maturing and moving out. But being alone, it's just been so amazing. Not just like alone in this house, but like, I know a couple people in Louisiana, very minimal though. But just like, it's just so much peace. Like, it's literally everything I imagined it to be. I love it here. I love it here, y'all. I love it. So I moved here, but here's the kicker. Y'all know how I came up with the picture perfect plan? Well, let's just say, and it was perfect. It's a contingency perfect. Like, it would have all worked out. We saw it all working out. Like, no one saw, you know, anything get messed up, but unfortunately things happen. So now I'm in the process of developing a new plan so that I can pay for my mortgage. Yeah, that's it, you know. And it's one thing when I was gonna have to pay for, my dad was gonna pay the down payment, mortgage was gonna be taken care of. All I would have to pay is power, water, internet, stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? And now I just have to figure out a new plan to be able to pay for my mortgage. Yeah. Y'all pray for me. Pray for me. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, that's the main process of how this whole thing worked out. And thank you, God, that it happened. And you know what? I'm so glad that I didn't move out in the fall 2024 because it just wouldn't have been worth it. Like, because I was planning to move out but I was planning to stay in Columbus, Georgia. It's like, what was the point of moving? Like, if you gonna move. Like, don't just move into the same city. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, when I move, I'll move. So, like, if you ever needed a sign to move out of your hometown, move, y'all. Move, I tell you. Like, you will learn so much. I feel like I've grown so much in these last, 3 months? Yeah. These past 3 months, I feel like I've grown so much, I learned so much, and I'm just continuing to grow, and that's exactly what I wanted. So, if you need a sign to move out, just do it. Do it, y'all. Don't be scared. There's nothing, I promise you, there's nothing to be scared of. Just do it. You'll figure everything out on the way. Like, and I truly do believe, for the most part, I feel like there's some people who can stay in their hometown and be fine, maybe, but just gotta get out. You gotta get out what you've always known. Like, you gotta get out of your comfort zone. Like, why? Why stay? You wanna stay in the same place for your entire life? No. That's like part of the reason why I went to Hampton, because it was far. I wanted to go so far away from home. Hampton was 10 hours. Louisiana, well, Baton Rouge is 6 hours from home. Well, 6.5 hours from home. Next, I'll be moving to New York. That's like 17 hours. Then I will probably make my way back to Georgia, like North Georgia, to raise a family and stuff like that. I don't know. We'll see. And that's just my plan. Everything can turn out completely different, but those are my plans in terms of like where I want to move. I'm open to other ideas. Am I? I am, but not really, but a little bit. I'm just saying I'm open because at some point I am going to start a family, and I can't necessarily control everything that happens with that. But yeah, I think that's it. Just move out of your parents' house. Move out of your hometown. Move out of your parents' house and go get that work in. The question of the week was, do you like steak? And if so, how do you like it cooked? Unfortunately, I don't like steak. It's not that I think it's terrible. It's really just too tough. Though I don't like steak, one of my goals this year is to gain weight. So I said I'll probably start eating it more. If I had to choose how I would like it cooked, it would be medium well and maybe medium rare. That's it for today's show. Thanks for watching. Before you leave, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.